Yes guys, episode 4, here we go. This is a Q&A, all about me, all about my life, all about whatever has happened leading me to this point. My name's James Daniel Naughton, which stands for JDN, which is obviously where I got the name JDN Brickwork from. I'm from Leeds originally. I've just bought an house in Castleford, which you guys have been watching the progress on. I'm going to be living there for a couple of years once the renovation is complete, and then who knows where we're going to move on to. I'm 23 years old. I'm 2 years into business. I've been a bricklayer for the past 7 years of my life, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
Mate, when you get a minute, can you do a video on where it all began with your firm, etc.? Be interesting. Love from Manchester.
Yes, we are going to do a video of that. Me and Ben have been talking about it. We have discussed that it's a little bit early in the series to do that now. We're going to do that a little bit later on. We're going to kind of build up a bit of a story, a bit of a background about what's actually going on with the company, where we're heading, keep you in the loop with current affairs and stuff like that. And then I think when the time's right, we're going to do a full episode on how my company started, how we've grown, what we were doing leading up to it, kind of why it happened and everything like that.
I'm a 24-year-old brickie, have my own gang, but would like to get to know my own contracts like yourself, but wouldn't know where to start. Keep up the hard work.
Hayden K. Bit of a statement and a question in one, that, innit? 24, your age, forget about your age. Anyone who said anything about age, just block that bit out of your mind. Alexander the Great conquered America when he was 16. So, age don't mean shit. It never has done to me, so just forget about that. Running your own gang, spot on. Definitely a good starting point. I emailed all the developers in my local area from the planning portal. So I looked at my local planning portal, emailed a load of developers that had projects going on, just a bit of an intro email saying that I were ready to take on bigger contracts when I had no reason to be saying anything of the sort, really. So I just kind of emailed a load of developers and a few got back to me. But originally, I were like, the govy jobs kind of got bigger and bigger, so I were doing govies on weekends, and then them govies turned into throughout the week when any other brickies I were working with on holiday, so we went on site. And then I got a fairly big job to do in Leeds, and then that kind of rolled on and rolled on and rolled on. But yeah, that's it. If you're 24, yeah, good age to get going, good age to be thinking about moving forward in business. Just keep putting the hard yards in every single day, it'll come together.
Jack Gibbons 16 on Instagram. How did you start your own business? Was there much work, etc.?
How did I start my business? Was there much work involved? I get asked this quite a fair bit, and I think we've got a few of these types of questions, haven't we, about how I started my own business. It kind of just, it wasn't like one day I woke up and thought, boom, I'm a businessman. It were like, it's a gradual process of working like an absolute dog, day in, day out. I still do now, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon, working as hard as I do. But it's like, I just kind of kept working and kept meeting the right people, put yourself in front of enough people. That's a definite key. Just keep putting yourself out there, keep working hard, put yourself out there, meet the right people, surround yourself with the right people. That's a massive step. And it just kind of, if you've got the right intentions and you're a good person and you do things with a good heart, you're not out to screw anyone over, you'll attract the good people, and the good people will come to you and they'll want to stick around you. So once you've got that good set of people around you, things start happening for you. It's like when you put the right kind of stuff out there, it comes back in abundance. So just be a good person, do things right, and it'll come.
Nice, love that. So the next two questions are going to be from the same guy, Akil Khan X on Instagram. At what age did you get into the trade? I think you did briefly mention it before, but...
Started at 16, we were leaving school and I was the last one out of my mates to find any kind of work or any kind of apprenticeship or college or anything like that. I'd applied to be a sparky, I'd applied to be a plumber, I'd applied to be a joiner. I even went for a painting apprenticeship and I got nothing. So like I was one of the last ones. It was coming up to like the last couple of weeks at school, and I had to sit down with careers women, and I was like, what am I going to do? I don't want to go to college because I don't want to sit in an office all day. I don't want to go through the university academic route because I didn't hate school, but it just wasn't for me. I was a more practical guy. So she sent my CV out to a training provider called FutureWorks, because they were like a big UK training company for apprenticeships and young people coming out of school who want to get into the practical side of stuff. that were it then. I just managed to get an interview. I think I had another 2 interviews, and then managed to get on board in time for the September after I left school. So 16 years old. I would have turned 16 in the March, and then straight onto site in September, as green as they come, and I mean as green as they come. I had absolutely no clue. I had these big stupid black boots on that I got for free off Keep Moat. This kitted me out in a brand spanking new Ivies, and then I didn't have a clue what to wear, how to act, how to talk to any lads on site. I didn't know anything. Got sent for a long stand, had all tricks at trade done to me. And yeah, just absolutely loved it. I just loved the banter, loved the lads, I loved the building site life, and I just got hooked.
Sick. So the same person again, Akil, says, are you taking on any apprentices?
Keel, am I taking on any apprentices? I guess, yeah. Well, I started off with one apprentice. He did his level 3 with us. He's doing his own thing now. And then I've took on another apprentice, Alfie, in September. So he's coming through this year with us. But the qualifications changed now. So for anyone who don't know, who is looking to get into bricklaying, it's not a level 1, 2, 3 anymore. It's like just one big standard qualification that lasts 24 to 36 months, depending on your ability and how quick you can pass it. So it's just called a standard qualification. So you just get that. So that's what Alfie's doing, because Alfie's year group was the first year to test this new qualification system out. So Alfie started that in September, so he's looking to be done between like this September and the year after. So as soon as Alfie's done and wrapped up, I think we've got another lad lined up, but by then we've probably expanded enough to take another 1, possibly 2 on. I do get quite a fair bit of interest for young lads coming through, but it is one of my targets to help the next generation of bricklayers, so keep in touch, there may be something for you.
When you was taking on the big Rainton and Castleford sites, did you have any thoughts or reservations at first, or did you just say yes and go straight for it? Have you managed to tackle them easier than expected, or have you had a few hurdles along the way?
Zach, that's a very good question. First of all, the Rainton site, yes, although it is big enough, it's only 15 houses. And when someone says big, scary, it's massive job, oh, you're doing this big job, massive job. Realistically, yeah, it might look big to whatever. Even to me, sometimes it does look big, but then I have to remind myself it's still only one brick on top of the other. You just build it, you're just building an house the same. There might be luxury houses, there might be big grand houses, but it's still just one brick at a time. So the size of the job, yeah, it can be a bit scary sometimes when you look at it, but then when you do actually break it down and look at the fundamentals of what you're doing to get that job complete, it really is straightforward. The difficult bit is hiring. I have struggled with labour, I'll be honest with you, but I'm the personality type to just jump into the deep end with anything, so if someone offers me an opportunity, I'm rarely going to say no, unless it's like detrimental to my health or like anything around me or like that, I'm probably going to say yes. And especially with me putting myself out there to do it as well, because I always had that goal and vision in my mind of being this construction mogul, so to speak. Like since I started, I just wanted to, like, I remember looking at the owner of the company that I was working for when I were on apprenticeship, who looked after all the brickwork on the site, and I was like, he's doing it. I want to be like him. He's sick. So like that was like a building site with like 300 houses on it. So I'm putting myself out there to do these piddly sites with like 10, 15, 20 houses. It's like, to me, because that image is in my head of Matt doing these 300 houses, these other developers doing like massive building sites, it's like it just seems like a stepping stone and a stepping block. So I'll just dive in with both feet, get this job smashed off to the best I can. Things might change along the way, I might get it wrong, I probably will get it wrong, I'll fail at some things, and I'm going to do everything I can to the best of my ability to get these 2 current contracts that we have got done and complete. If I can pull them off, we'll move on. If not, I'll learn and still move on.
So the next one from Mitchell Flood, MF Building on Instagram. He's more or less said, when you're pricing a job up, how do you go about pricing it?
Mitchell, these jobs, like a job can scale from like rebuilding a brick pillar to building 100 houses. So how we price a pillar to be rebuilt in someone's front garden is going to be a totally different scenario and sequence of events during the pricing, because it can be a pretty stressful process pricing a job if it's big enough. It's going to be totally different to pricing one of these bigger sites or one of these huge jobs that we are aiming for. But if it is like a smaller scale job, like a garden wall, a few pillars, a bit of repointing, maybe a small porch or extension or something like that, I'll kind of get a price for all the materials, so you'll be able to do that through the drawings. If it's a bit of a bigger extension with a bit more complexity to it, I'll probably wire it over to Ben, our QS, who's mint. He'll look at, do some fancy calculations or whatever he does to figure out a lot quicker than what I could what's actually in it. So I'll get the materials together, I'll get a price for the materials, and then I'll kind of gauge what we'd get on site and some, just to allow for any bits of contingency, bits going wrong, problems we might come across during the job. So I'll get a price for what we'd get on site for the materials, add that onto it, and then kind of gauge that with how many days I think it'd take, so how many working days, what the lads get per day, what I'd be wanting per day for managing it, and then if them two numbers kind of go with each other, I'll find like the sweet spot between them two, and then obviously you allow yourself about 10% for anything that does go wrong on top of that. And then if I want on the tools, if I had got this job and I want physically doing it, I'd have to have a bit of profit as well, because otherwise it'd be a waste of my time.
How did you get into having so many gangs on site? As me and my brother own our own brickwork and fencing company, but want gangs on site like yourself.
Again, I appreciate it. I am pretty flattered that he's saying things like so many gangs, but now we're at a stage where there's only 2 gangs on each site. We've had gangs that have come on board and not quite met the standards. We've had gangs that have let me down. We've had single bricklayers that have come to do a bit and they've just turned out to be an absolute waste of my time. So many gangs. I've got 2 on Rainton now that are good solid gangs, and there's 2 gangs on Cass as well. So it's going like 4 gangs. How did I get to having 4 gangs? Just by getting when you've got a job that site, when you've got like 15 houses to build on one job and 10 houses to build on another job, it'd be impossible for me to build 25 units with my 2 hands. So you need a team of people around you, and it just goes down to hiring and firing. Hire what you need to hire, chop the shit and keep what's left. A lot of it's word of mouth, Facebook advertising, social media advertising, and ads on Indeed. If you're in a stage where you've got the jobs, you've got your fencing contracts for these sites, and you're looking for lads to come and install the fences, just get a detailed job description together and stick it on Facebook, get your mates to share it, stick it on your Instagram, stick it on Indeed. All the job searching sites, newspapers and stuff like that are a bit outdated. Get it on social media, use social media.
Nice. CJS Masonry on Instagram. He says, when did you know when you was ready to set up on your own?
I don't know, I can't pin down an age. It's like from when I started, and I remember seeing Matt, who was the boss of the brickwork company, and then from then on I just kind of thought, if Matt can do this, why can't I? Why can't anyone? I used to get confused. I'd be like on site, and obviously young and naive, I'd be thinking like, why are these guys? Why is Matt younger than these guys that are working for him? But then I thought, after a few bit of pondering over it and stuff like that, I thought that's not a bad thing at all. Matt's there providing the work. These guys are happy to work, and it all comes down to what ultimately do you want to do in your life? What you're going to do that's going to serve you, that's going to make you happy, that you want to do. If laying bricks makes you the happiest, and you can earn a good wage from laying bricks, you can go home stress-free to your family and just enjoy yourself, then happy days. I have absolutely no issues with that. But and sometimes it's not easy, and sometimes I wish that I could have the attitude where I could just have a job, go to the job, earn a good wage, and go home and not have to go to sleep with headaches or rarely get sleep at all. Sometimes that would be nice, but it's deep ingrained somewhere in me. I'm not sure why or where it comes from, but to just go that extra mile and just do that little bit more, and to give back. Like, I love walking on site and seeing lads working, because I've found that job and I've found that work for them. The apprentices, especially Alfie, I love seeing Alfie's progress. I love knowing that Josh is going to be coming on board. Josh is Wilson, who we're doing the acid in episode 2, 3. Wilson's going to be coming on board and learning the ropes as well, and that's the kind of stuff that makes me happy. Bringing other people in to the firm and making them better people as well as better tradesmen.
Nice, love that. Hi James, thanks for doing the Q&A. My question will be, as someone who isn't a tradesman, how do you judge how good a tradesman is if you should hire one person over another? For instance, let's say you get one quote for £80 and another £140 an hour. The tendency is to go with a cheaper option. However, the person is £140 might get twice as much done an hour to a higher quality, which would work out cheaper overall. How do you go about choosing which one of the two?
Don't always go for the cheapest quote, don't always go for the most expensive quote because you think that that's going to be the best quality of work. Some people are out there to rip you off, and don't just not go for the cheaper quote because it's the cheaper quote. They're just probably, they could be starting out, they could be wanting to get themselves out there, or the cheap quote could be the cheap quote because they are genuinely shite and they need the work desperately. Get a feel for the person. You've got to use your own judgment here when you're getting jobs priced up. You've got to get a feel for if you think this person is trustworthy, if they've got a good reputation, if you've been recommended them by friends and family, ask them what they were like, what the work area were like, was it tidy, were they neat, did they take pride. If you're getting someone off of the internet, you may as well just go to Yellow Pages if they've got no reviews or nothing, like not even a social media presence, because with the older boys they're not too fussed about stuff like that, but you just need to make sure that somebody's got a good reputation. Don't always be too focused on price. If you want a job doing, you need to meet a few people that can do the job and just get a vibe off them. Make sure it's somebody that you can work with. Don't just pin it down to price, pin it down to like the bigger picture.
How long until you have this matte black Lambo Aventador off me?
Connor, love it. Me and Connor have like a little running joke. Connor works at Redline Specialist Cars in Leeds. They sell supercars and stuff like that. And I always tell him to keep a matte black Aventador warm for me when I've made enough money and when I grow up and get a little bit bigger, for me to buy a matte black Aventador off him, because that is my dream car. Connor, when am I coming to pick it up? If you don't mind hiring us one for a bit, it might look good on YouTube, eh?
Yeah, we'll take a test drive.
Take a little test drive out for an hour one day.
Sort us out, Connor,
yeah?
Come on.
Sort us out, Gauger, but yeah, I will be there, so keep it warm. I'm just not sure when.
Jake Crowther on Instagram asks, where do you see JDN in 5 years' time?
Jake, my good pal, where do I see JDN in 5 years' time? In 5 years' time, I don't know whether I want to go down the route of just being a brick baron and building that empire. Because the more and more I'm on sites, and the more I'm getting in touch with developers of all different sizes, different types of houses, different types of construction, commercial and what have you, I'm kind of thinking, do I want to go down the developing route and kind of do the full job myself, so that I'm, in effect, not working for anybody? I'm the client, the developer, the project manager, and the builder. So 5 years' time, I want to be taking over, man. I want to be on his way.
Nice. Next one is Clark Property 1 on Instagram. It's quite a nice one. It says, how do you always smile no matter what goes on?
Christoph, that's Chris. We did a little stone extension for Chris last year. Built a beautiful stone boundary wall for him and did a load of stone in his front garden. It looked like a castle by the end of it because he's got a stone house as well. There was just a stupid amount of stone in his garden, but it did look absolutely spot on, and we quite enjoyed ourselves. Become quite good mates with Christoph, and he's a pretty smiley chap as well. Just smile, man. It's not hard. You just makes the world a better place. Just smile a bit more. I think everyone should make a bit of an effort to be a little bit more smiley every now and again.
Finners 100. How often do you manage to get on the trowel?
Finners 100. Whenever I can, I love it. I enjoy being on the trowel. Obviously, naturally, when you make a business, you're going to veer off from the tools. You have got a lot more things to do. I am finding myself spending a lot more time in Craig's office from LJ and Key. You saw us in there on episode 3. So I'm spending a lot more time in there. I'm spending a lot more time looking at new jobs, because although, yeah, we have got a fair bit of work going on at the moment, that's going to dry up before we know it. So I do need to be out there finding more work. I do get on the trowel, A, if needed, if we're a bit behind and we need a push, or B, if I'm all caught up with my office work, I'll jump on with the lads. I did it literally only up until 4 or 5 weeks ago, more or less before this YouTube started, to be honest. I was always constantly on the trowel, but then stuff got a little bit hectic, and it would get into the stage where I want sleep in. I was trying to cram everything in. I was having a full day on the trowel, coming home knackered, and then having to sort gang sheets out, having to sort wages out, having to sort invoices out, having to sort all the boring stuff out, tax, fitting meetings and stuff like that after work, out of hours, and it just really wasn't working. So I started to give myself 2 days a week off the tools. So it'd be like a Tuesday and a Thursday off. And then that Tuesday and Thursday turned into probably switched roles, and that Tuesday and Thursday is now probably on the tools, and it's like more time off than on.
Next one, Sam Chambers says, do you want to build a property portfolio?
Sam Chambers, yes. I've done a few courses on property. I did the first ever course back in January 2019, and I actually have a couple of property mentors as well. Definitely want to build a property portfolio. I've got the right people around me to do so. I would like to think I've got the right mindset to endure the challenges that come with a property portfolio. So yeah, it's definitely a long-term plan to do all kinds of different property deals.
What scope can a brickwork contractor take on in a new build? Flat piece to what stage?
A brickwork contractor can take on the footings from top of foundation to DPC, and then from DPC up to wall plate and ready for the roof. So that's generally what a bricklaying contractor will take on. Other brick contractors might do the full mashings.
Adam N96 on Instagram asks, are you going to buy some land and build your own houses and cut the middleman out, my G?
My G? Adam N96, my G. Yeah, definitely want to do that. Not so much just for the reason of cutting the middleman out, because that middleman can sometimes be very important in the process of building an house. One, it takes a lot of stress off the people above, and it also gives a little bit of direction to the people below. Sometimes there is a very good reason for that middleman. Mainly I want to do buying my own land and building my own properties and doing my own kind of deals and developments just for the way that it'll like stretch me mentally and the way that it'll push me further out of my comfort zone. Just to get going and do a bit more than what I'm doing today. Like if tomorrow I can do a bit more and push myself to be that little bit better, I'm happy.
Square Mile Builders asks, when you come into London to do a video with me, wink face, laughing face.
If this trip to London is all expenses paid by yourself, Chris, to cover me and Ben for the day and cover a little video, I'm sure we can arrange something.
Tom Morris 892 says, spoke with a retired Tyler other day. He said bricks is a mugs game. Was he right? He done his time on bricks.
Bricks are a mugs game. I don't know what kind of bricks you're talking about here, Tom Morris, because I do know, being from a council estate, I do know that there is a bricks game that is a mugs game, but it's not bricklaying. And there's an art to bricklaying's an art. It is an art. It's a work of art, bricklaying. You don't look at an house and go, ooh, them roof tiles look nice. That soffit's really good. You go, wow, that's a well nice house. Look at that brickwork. Bricklaying is the masterpiece.
For me personally, I would struggle working outside, doing a labourer's job in the winter, because I'm terrible with the cold. How does your line of work tend to be affected in the winter? Do people drop out more with shifts, or do people just crack on or what?
Absolutely not. No, there's the right clothing. So you wrap yourself up, basically, and you just, once you get past, like, sometimes it is, like, I'm putting a bit of a front on there, sometimes it is really difficult, and sometimes you are tempted to just be like, nah, fuck this, I'm going to hibernate till the summer. But if you've got the right clothing on, and it's not, you can't lay bricks under a certain temperature anyway. Like if it drops below 2 degrees, you can't lay bricks because the mortar doesn't set properly.
Right.
You can add some additive into it, but they don't recommend it. So like bricklaying, you can't really, but there's other trades such as like ground workers, roofers, scaffolders that have to battle out any kind of weather, and I take my hats off to them.
Because likewise, summer could just be fucking dreadful, couldn't it? Especially as a roofer, I bet it gets sweltering up there.
Yeah, sometimes summer is roofless. Rooferless. Yeah, it is. Both are, like spring and autumn are the best times.
Yeah, sure. Courtney Wood asks, what has been your hardest challenge since starting JDM Brickwork? How did you overcome it?
Courtney Wood. The biggest challenge of running a business is managing everything else in your life away from business. So if you've got a girlfriend, if you've got a child on the way, if you're doing a house renovation with this person, if if you still got to make time for date nights and time away from work where your mind's not doing anything else, you've still got to make time for your family, you've still got to make time to see some mates, you've still got to make time for your own headspace, you've still got to make time to keep fit and healthy, get to the gym and everything like that. The biggest challenge for me in business since starting JDN is definitely time management. How have I overcome it? I'm still working on it. I definitely have got a lot better on it recently because I've been working very hard to do so. And that don't mean you have to get up at stupid o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning and go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. You don't need to do stupid hours like that. You can still get your good 6-7 hours of sleep. Time management becomes very simple to control if you plan and organise.
Any advice for a young brickie trying to make it? Any ways to improve on site or in building?
The fact that you've asked that question shows that you're already on the way. Dan, the way you can improve on site and be the best bricklayer that you can be is keep your head down, keep your bum in the air and keep them bricks walling. Keep that trowel spinning, keep walling. Listen to the old boys. You will get the piss took out of you, you will get your work ripped to shreds, you will get talked to like a bit of a dick. It happens, it's going to happen. If you want to get anywhere, you need to endure that shit. You've got to take the rough with the smooth because believe me, once you've took enough of the rough, the smooth does come. Just keep your head down, keep working hard.
Nice. So, just a random one throwing it out there.
Here we go. Do you mind if I get a drink of water first?
Go for it, lad.
Fucking drama. Oh, my ass is numb as fuck as well.
So we know that you've got a little boy on the way. Have you got any ideas of what names you want to go for?
Ooh. I think Vinny's a cool name. Dinger has been a contender between me and the lads on site. Courtney doesn't even know about this, but...
Dinger?
Dinger, yeah.
Spell it out?
D-I-N apostrophe G-E-R. Because it's the name of a jointer. So the jointer that you use to joint bricks, that is a dinger. So we just, on site, we just go, baby dinger, baby dinger, baby dinger. Oh, when baby dinger's here, baby dinger's going to be on site here. Just call him Dinger.
What's Courtney want to go with?
She likes Ezra.
Celebrity crush, have you got one?
Celebrity crush. Courtney just paused this. Margaret Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's a strong choice. Favourite movie?
Favourite movie? Oof. Got to be Hangover, the first Hangover.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hilarious.
You've been in Vegas, haven't you?
Yeah. 2 years ago today, I was in Vegas.
Right.
Actually, we landed there today, 2 years ago, for my 21st birthday.
Do you think that you've been to Vegas and experienced it, that makes you more of a fan of Hangover? Or?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I was stood in front of Caesar's Palace like, Chow jumped off there. Literally, all this, yeah. Hangover is an unbelievable film. I do, like, In-Betweeners movie, that's just a classic that I don't think I'll ever get old. Super bad, hilarious. Wolf of Wall Street obviously goes without saying, what a film. I do like my comedy films. I love a comedy. I love a good comedy.
Who would be like your favourite artist, musician?
Favourite artist and musician? I like Post Malone.
Yeah?
Post Malone's cool.
Sick.
He's a cool geezer. Me and Courtney went to go see Post Malone actually. And I'd only just started getting into like that kind of music as well, and I happened to just start listening to Roddy Ricch at this time, and he only went and opened up for Post Malone at this concert. It was pretty mad, so it was like a really good night. We enjoyed ourselves. Post Malone. And after I started getting into his music, I started like researching him as a person, watched a few interviews and kind of liked him even more. He's a bit of a geezer.
He is, yeah. What would be your final meal, death row meal? And you can have 3 courses.
I can have 3 courses, yeah?
Yeah. You get a start, a main and a dessert.
Starter. Can I have 2 starters from the same restaurant? For a starter.
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah. I'd have the halloumi and chili jam from Nando's, and I'd have the pitta with the hummus and the peri drizzle.
From Nando's.
From Nando's.
Banging,
so that'd be my starter.
Some people get red pepper dip.
Red pepper dip's not the one for me. It's too bland.
It's not the same as the hummus.
It's bland, and people are probably going to say, but hummus is bland. But hummus, when you add that peri drizzle to the hummus, oh my gosh. Yes. Main course. I do love a pizza, but do I love it enough for it to be my last meal? My last meal. Oh man, clearly I'm a foodie. I love food. I can't make this decision. It'd probably have to be a pizza. There's a local pizza shop to Castleford. It's like it's an independent pizza shop. It's not like your Domino's or your Pizza Hut or whatever, but he does an absolutely banging tandoori chicken pizza. It's got tandoori chicken, green peppers, mushroom.
Special kind of thing.
It's like my go-to, like the Subway in episode 3, the chicken tikka.
Yeah.
This is my go-to for a pizza. Tandoori chicken and some cheesy chips. He does the sickest cheesy chips as well. He puts cheese on the bottom, like in the middle and on the top.
Yeah.
No, because I've got like 60 days left to go on this health. I'm on health now for another 2 months. So forget about that. Dessert, it's got to be something chocolatey. I'm a chocolate monster. Harry, we're in doing the Rockin', the renovation on the Rockin', and he does what's called a Snow White waffle. Oh, you're getting me excited now, my mouth's watering. Snow White waffle, it's got like flake, twirl, I'm sure it's got Milky Bar, buttons on it, white chocolate sauce, normal chocolate sauce, all on like a waffle that's like a steering wheel. Unreal. That washed down with probably like an orange fizzy Lucozade. I do like a fizzy orange Lucozade, but I might have to have 2 and they'd have to be chilled. I think I'd die a pretty happy man if I had that for my last meal.
Tell us about this health regime you've got going on.
It's called 75 Hard. It's not just a health regime. You can look it up. It's been created by an American entrepreneur called Andy Frisella. It's more like a mental toughness program. But it includes like 5 different things that you have to do every single day for 75 days. And I'm currently 9 days in. No cheat meal or no bad food or no alcohol happens to be one of those 5 components. So I can't be having that last meal until I'm on day 75. But I think that might be our celebratory free course, Ben, if we can capture that.
What's your favourite sport? Who's your favourite team? Who's your favourite player?
Rugby league. Rugby league was always my sport growing up. Favourite team, Leeds Rhinos. I do happen to now have a few pals that play for Cass and that, so they're probably not going to be my pals anymore. But yeah, Leeds Rhinos all the way. My favourite player, he don't play anymore, he's retired, but it was Kevin Sinfield. Kevin Sinfield was like me. Like I don't tend to get starstruck. I was telling you last week actually. I don't tend to get starstruck when I see people or when I see like if someone's famous. It's just like, oh, okay, hello, nice to meet you. You do this, you do that, blah blah blah. But when I met Kevin Sinfield one time, I'm like, wow. I was like in awe. I was like, wow, that's Kevin Sinfield. Look at him. Wow, he's there in flesh. That's him. That's him. He's a sick guy, and he's a good person as well. Really down to earth, really humble, and he were an unbelievable sportsman. What
kind of milk do you drink?
Milk, green.
Green milk.
Green milk.
Yep.
What the fuck? What kind of milk do you So I've never understood like the perks of goat milk and stuff. Why would you
I'm an oat milk drinker, yeah.
Why would you get your milk from a goat and not a...
Oat or goat?
Goat?
Oh, I thought you said oat milk.
No, oat milk, I can understand oat milk.
Yeah.
But goat, why? Does it taste different?
Who drinks goat's milk?
Goat's milk, have you never, like...
Goat's cheese, maybe.
Oat milk's not too bad.
Yeah, I love oat milk.
I don't mind a bit of oat milk. Isn't it like for vegans?
Well, it is vegan, but it's not for vegans. It's not an exclusive club.
You can't buy oat milk. Have you got your vegan pass? That'll be next, won't it? Vegan pass.
What are you saying about Corona? Are you jabbed up yet?
Oh, I had to say, when I said vegan pass, that popped into my head, this vaccine pass and stuff. What am I saying about Corona? I mean, it's a beautiful drink. It's probably my favourite beverage. It really is my go-to alcoholic drink. If I'm going for a drink at someone's house, I'll go buy a crate of Corona. I'm presuming you weren't talking about the beer, but we'll leave that one for now. This has been a little Q&A. We've got a fair bit of interest, didn't we, Ben? With people asking questions on comments and stuff like that, and instead of replying to them individually, we thought, why not do a Q&A? Let us know what you thought of this episode. Let us know if you want to see another one. Drop any more questions you might have. Get us both on Instagram. Drop any questions you have. I'm always here. I'm all ears for questions to do with building, to do with property, construction, work. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know if you want to see another one in a few episodes' time, and the next time it'll be back to the same format as episode 1, 2 and 3. Keep liking, keep subscribing, and spread the word.